Policeman killed in Manchester while on interdiction. A policeman was shot and killed in Comfort, Manchester on Tuesday night. He has been identified as Detective Constable Murray Thomas. Police sources and relatives say Thomas was on examined due to an incident in Westmoreland. Preliminary reports indicated that around 10:30 p.m., Thomas was last seen purchasing an item at a shop in Comfort. Shortly after, loud explosions were heard. Thomas' body was found on Wednesday morning in the Breezy Hill district of Comfort with apparent gunshot wounds. His mother, Miss Senior, said this was the third attempt on her son's life. 3 times on his life, then shot up in Carina, Georges Valley, she said, adding that Thomas' firearm license had been revoked. They took his license firearm. It like they left him out here for them to kill him, and see they then kill him, she stated. In January, Thomas reportedly disarmed a man at a bar in Comfort. The man was fatally shot in the process, police said at that time. In December 2022, Thomas was taken into police custody following an armed robbery and double murder in Ports, Manchester. Senior said her son was wrongfully accused in that incident. Some shooting go on Ports. Them say my son do it. My son hate criminal. My son hate gunman, she stated. Man facing robbery charges killed in St. Anne. A man who was before the court on several charges linked to a robbery was killed on Monday at his home in Claremont, St. Anne. The man, 32-year-old Arland Pennant of Cottart Grove, was reporting to the Claremont police station as condition of bail. It's reported that about 3 p.m., 2 men armed with handguns entered the premises and asked for Mr. Pennant. He was then shot multiple times. The gunmen fled the scene. The driver didn't have a license. A relative of 14-year-old Michael Simpson, who was fatally shot by the police in Williamsfield on Sunday, has admitted that the teen's 20-year-old brother, who was driving, tried to elude the police as he is not the holder of a driver's license. Ingrid Brooks, aunt of Simpson's brother, said the 20-year-old, while driving a Toyota Mark X, sprung around to avoid the police on the Kendall Main Road. They came down here and saw the police, and they turned and went back up the highway to go to Williamsfield, and the police intercepted them at a railway station in Williamsfield. They didn't run them down to go up there, so I don't see how it was a shootout and a chase, stated the aunt on Tuesday. Yes, they were trying to elude the police because the driver didn't have a license. That is the only thing that they are guilty of, she said. Mikhail, who was a student at Belfield High School, was a passenger in the white Toyota Mark X motorcar driven by the 20-year-old brother when they were shot by the police. According to the police, about 5 p.m., there was a vehicular checkpoint at Kendall when the Mark X was observing what appeared to be an attempt to elude the checkpoint. The police said the Mark X traveled towards Williamsfield, where another police team attempted to intercept the vehicle, but a high-speed chase ensued. According to the police, during the chase, the Mark X crashed into the pickup near the Williamsfield train line. The driver of the pickup sustained minor injuries to his hand and had to seek cover during the shooting. The Mark X came to a stop at a bar near Hope Village. Police said 2 occupants of the car escaped on foot, while a third occupant was found suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds and was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Brooks, who was among the placard-bearing residents at Barrett Place that were gathered across from Kendall Police Station, said Mikhail was carrying food home to his dad for Father's Day. The 14-year-old who was killed, he was killed with 3 plates of food in his lap and a fad with pork in it. They were taking up dinner for their dad, she said. I don't see how there was a shootout. How comes there was a gun in the car? They just left the house. No gun was in the car, and they're saying it is a shootout. That is not possible, added the aunt. Subsequently, a resident chanted, "We want justice," as they stood across from the station. While the police kept a watchful eye on the placard-bearing residents, roadblocks were mounted in sections of Kendall. Steve Simpson, Mikhail's father, was overcome with grief. Them kill me baby, so innocent. 14-year-old do nothing, and them just kill him like that. A justice that? He asked. He also questioned why his 20-year-old son was handcuffed to bed at hospital. Why them have to handcuff him, and him a no gunman? I just driver's license him no have, so what them a handcuff him for? I have two police over him like a criminal, he said. On Monday, Hamish Campbell, Assistant Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom, confirmed that a probe has been launched into the incident. Residents are calling on the intervention of the government to ensure justice is served. Me want Prime Minister Andrew Holness to come down here, because if he not come down here, he not have one more vote to get a Kendall, said Rosemary Plummer, a resident of Barrett Peace. Councillor Maria Mitchell, People's National Party Belfield Division, questioned why body cameras were not being used by the police during the incident. There are so many more questions that they need to be asked. One about the police and body cameras and any recordings of the shooting that evening, because it means that nobody is safe, he said. It could happen to anybody. It could happen to your child. It means that the police would have been careless in how they have conducted, because Indicom has said that there are no firearms seized. The head of the police in the parish of Manchester, the minister himself, or even the Prime Minister and the police commissioner have to come and face the people to answer their concerns, added Mitchell. Attorney questions the length of time taken to photograph Keith Clark's house after shooting incident. Attorney Peter Champney, KC, tackled a detective corporal during cross-examination about the length of time it took for him to capture more than 1,000 photographs of the May 27, 2010 shooting scene at the St. Andrew home of Keith Clark, in which the accountant was shot and killed in his bedroom. Clark was shot more than 20 times during an intelligence-led police military operation aimed at capturing then-fugitive Lord Christopher Dudus-Cook, who was wanted by the United States enforcement authorities for drugs and weapon offenses. It is alleged that Cook and several of his heavily armed cronies were staying in the basement of Clark's house. It is also alleged that gunmen challenged the security forces in a shootout before escaping in a heavily forested area at the back of the property, which led down to Red Hills Road. KC Peter, who represents Lance Corporal Buckle, pressed the detective corporal, who is a forensic investigator and photographer, to come up with answers as to why it took him 3 days to photograph the entire scene inside the house as well as on the outside where there were excessive gunfires. The court learned earlier during the detective's testimony that he found more than 570 M16 spent casing at the location. Peter also invited the detective to tell the 7-member jury how many statements he wrote and to say exactly when he wrote them. Do you agree with me, Detective Corporal, that in relation to all of that in your written statement should have been done very soon after? Peter asked. Yes, sir, the detective responded, saying, prompting Peter to ask him if he thought he felt short in relation to him not writing all his statements soon after he photographed the location. The detective's response was no, sir. Casey Champney then asked him if he knew how many days or weeks after he had photographed the scene that he wrote his first statement. No, sir, the detective corporal said, adding that, I'm afraid I can't even give an estimate. Numerous times when asked questions by the attorney, the policeman claimed that he could not recall the details. However, Casey Peter cornered him each time and got him to admit to suggestions after he showed documents to peruse. Casey Peter criticized the witness for not only taking too long to photograph the scene, but also waiting lengthy times before writing his statements. The lawyer probed him to find out from the witness why he had not conducted DNA samples on the more than 15 red stripe bottles that were found in different locations inside the house and outside in the yard. Inside the sitting room of Clark's house, there were 8 beer bottles on a coffee table. It was only those that the detective swabbed for possible DNA evidence. The lawyer asked him if he would agree that a part of the 8 bottles were not covered and thus on the coffee table. There were many other bottles at the premises to be swabbed, and the detective agreed. The attorney showed the detective images of beer bottles throughout the yard and inside the house and questioned him on to whether he had caused DNA testing to be done on all of them, but the detective could not recall. The witness told the court that he checked to see if there was any other evidential value at the back of the premises, including in the heavily forested area leading to Red Hills Road, where Dudus and his cronies were said to have escaped, but could not recall if he made any mention of that in any of his statements. With the greatest of respect, you cannot recall because it never happened. You made no attempt, Peter said. However, the witness did not agree with him. The trial continues on Monday. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.